I'm Keigo, and this is how we got our autism diagnosis, and why we still support those in the community who can't get theirs. Hi everyone! I'm Keigo, as I said earlier. I'm a victim of hawks from NHA. Don't make a big deal out of it, not a big deal. Anyway, so a couple of hours ago, we finally got the news that we have officially, on the NHS, been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Yay! Now, this is a very big moment for us, as you might expect. We've been waiting for our diagnosis for almost 2 years now, and we have had to do test after test, life stuff got in the way. It was a mess. Everything has been a bit of a mess. But we finally got it, and it's given us a couple of opinions and a couple of things that we'd like to say to the autistic community, and particularly those who might be sceptical of people who self-diagnose. Also, I'd give a little side note. I am sorry that this is not a video about DID. I know that's our channel, but people who have DID are also very likely to be autistic, and this is our channel and we can do whatever the fuck we want. So, okay, let's we've got our notes here. So, how did we end up getting our diagnosis? Now, something important to know is we live in the United Kingdom. We're very privileged to be able to live here, where we do have an NHS and we don't need to pay for our healthcare. However, because it is a public system, there isn't enough funding, and way too many people are in the public system, and it is way over capacity. It means that people are facing 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year wait times to even get an assessment, not just a diagnosis, an assessment for things like autism, which is a really important thing. Now, you could go private, that is an option, but we do not come from a family with a lot of money. We have enough to get by, we have enough to live comfortably, but we do not have enough to go and spend thousands to get a private diagnosis for a condition. It's just not an option for us. It's not an option for a lot of people. So we started with self-diagnosis. Well, that's inaccurate. We started considering that we might be on the spectrum because our dad was calling his friend and mentioned that he thought we might be on the spectrum like years ago. We were listening through the door, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And so we started researching. We went to reputable sources. We watched the lectures of someone called Tony Atwood. He was very helpful. We watched the magnificent YouTuber Paige Layell. Go check her out, she's amazing. And we came to the conclusion that yes, we do show signs and symptoms of autism. Of course, before we reached that conclusion, we reached out to our therapist to say, hey, this happened. Like, what do we do about this? But we had been bounced around through multiple therapists. We were on our first therapist when we mentioned the autism, and then we got bounced around into the CAM system and had to wait like 6 weeks, 8 weeks? A lot of weeks. And then we had to, and then that therapist left after a while. Then we got our third therapist, who really sucked and didn't really do anything. Now we're on our fourth therapist. She's great. She's good. And we have a psychiatrist too, who's also great. And they're very helpful. But, I mean, yeah, it was just such a wild ride, and it took so long to get an answer for something that we have been told is apparently pretty obvious. Like, Okay, let's put it this way. The special needs coordinator for our school literally said, "Oh, you're autistic, right?" Barely 3 minutes after meeting us, whenever we brought up the possibility, "My dad thinks I might be neurodivergent." He was like, "Oh, you're autistic, right?" And we were like, "Oh. Well, you didn't need to put it like that." We have been, like, so it is pretty obvious, and yet we still had to wait years to get an answer. And little side note here, the tests were not very good. Like, there are a couple of tests that we used because they wanted to get a full overview of us, and they were designed for 7-year-old boys, and that's fine. 7-year-old boys deserve a test, but also AFAB teenage people, they also deserve tests. And not to mention, by the way, that who is fronting greatly impacts how neurodivergent we present. For example, if Callum was fronting and took the test, if Mulaney was fronting and took the test, it would have been a no-brainer. But we kept blurring and switching because we were so nervous and so anxious about the test that we had to take more tests because they were unsure, because the results came back the first time. Oh my gosh, I've already been recording for almost 7 minutes. Editor, please feel free to cut any of the little pauses out. I'm not the best being on camera. This is fun though, this is fun. Okay, so getting to the actual topic, why we still support people who self-diagnose. I feel like some people, when they get their, in this case, autism diagnosis, they want to leave the part of themselves that had to self-diagnose behind. And they want to almost disown that part of the community because they're valid now. They're accepted now. But doing that is doing a disservice to your community. You don't have to be, if you have not self-diagnosed, you do not have to be radically in support of those who do. But do not make this environment hostile for them. Please do not actively say people who self-diagnose are always fake, because they're not. Some people are, and those people, fuck you. But the people who are genuinely unsure, who are trying to get their assessment, get their diagnosis, but just can't yet, and they have solid evidence, solid proof, we support you. We see you. And we think you're valid. Oh my god, the protector's gonna help me for this. And if there's anyone who sees this, who needs to talk, please feel free to reach out to us via email, or you can also reach out to us on Pinterest. Both links will be down below. Although the autism community is a far more accepting place than the DID community, we hope to change people's attitudes towards people who have to self-diagnose before they can get their real diagnosis. So, yeah. I hear from all of you. I see you. I hope everyone has a great night. I had a lot of fun filming this. I know it was a bit all over the place, but this is the first time I've done this. Anyway, everyone have a great night.